What's going on? This is Big G from G Riders. Welcome to another episode of Testing Rides. Today, I'm going to be testing out my 2002 Lexus GS 300. Welcome to my 2002 Lexus GS 300. Famous for its luxurious ride and bulletproof reliability, the Lexus GS 300 is still a very popular car. Now with it being 15 years old, this car is more appealing to a different audience. Normally a Lexus is aimed towards an older generation or someone who has retired or close to retired. Now this car is more appealing to the first car buyers, 18 to maybe up to 30 years old. And that's due to the price of the second generation Lexus GS 300s. Back in 2002, these started at about $38,000, and that's about equivalent to $50,000 today in 2017. So these were expensive cars. Now they're getting old. They run from between $3,500 with a lot of miles, or up to $10,000 with super low miles and super high spec. But that puts this car right in the first car type budget. This Lexus can come with a 4.3 liter V8 making about 300 horsepower, or like mine that I have here, comes with the inline 6 making about 220 horsepower and 220 foot-pounds of torque. And this car weighs a hefty 3,600 pounds. Because this car weighs almost 4,000 pounds, it gets about 18 in the city and 25 out on the highway. That's not too bad considering this is a 2002, so it has some pretty old tech and a 5-speed automatic transmission. Well, if you're thinking 220 horsepower, that sounds pretty slow. You will be right. So the engine that came in this car is 2JZ GE. If you're a Toyota nut, you'll know that's the same motor that they put in the Toyota Supra. So that means that you could put the 2JZ GTE pretty easily in this car. Again, if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically you can swap in a turbo or twin turbocharged version of the engine into this car pretty easily because it's the same motor that they put in the Supra. Yeah, and with the right proper tuning, these cars can make some big power, and you still have your four-door practicality. Alright, let's take a look inside. Welcome to the inside of my 2002 Lexus GS 300. The interior of the Lexus GS definitely looks pretty dated, but it doesn't look too bad overall. Everything you touch up here is really nice. Where you put your arms, all the materials are still in really good shape here. I like this. I like the dash setup here. This looks pretty old, but you know, this is a 2002. So this car does have the Sport Design package, as you can see in the emblem right there. So what that means is you get a little bit of firmer suspension, you get bigger wheels, and then you get this nice black walnut interior in here, and you get floor mats to match. There's not a whole lot of technology in this car, of course, because it's a 2002. Before a 2002, this car definitely feels well equipped. So my car has 141,000 miles on it, and for 141,000 miles, there's not many really creaks and rattles in the car. This car definitely feels like it was built pretty well. When you look over here on the seats, there's only like minor cracking, as you can see there. But there's no rips, holes, or tears. So the previous owner took care of this, and over the last year and a half I've owned this car, I have taken good care of it too. So for people looking for looking for these, the interior does hold up well if it's well taken care of. So since this is my car, I decided to make it a little bit louder. So the only modification I've really done to it is a QTP 2.5-inch exhaust cutout. So I'm going to demonstrate that for you guys real quick. Alright, let's go out for a drive. Alright, how does a Lexus GS300 drive? It drives pretty good. It's really comfortable, really comfortable. And the steering feels really nice. Going over these bumps and everything like that, my back's not out at all, because it's a Lexus, it's a very plush ride. And it's super comfortable. One thing I'm definitely glad I did was the QTP exhaust cutout, because we drop down to second gear, as you can see here. Then I would just go. As you can see, that sounds really good. I've owned this car for a little over a year now, actually. And I've quite enjoyed it over the year. One thing I gotta say is it doesn't get as great as gas mileage as it says online. I think maybe in the city I might get like 17, 16 maybe. And that's even being nice on it. And on the highway, it's better than advertised. So I've seen up to about 27 miles to the gallon over my entire distance, which is pretty great actually. This car does drive really well everywhere it goes, but it can definitely feel pretty big when parking or driving in the city sometimes, but that's alright. Like, it definitely feels big, but you definitely can get used to it. This car is the sport design, so that means it has a little bit bigger wheels and tires, and it has a little bit more firmer of a suspension. And I gotta say, I don't really see the difference. I haven't driven a regular GS300, but if this is the stiffer suspension, then the other one must be really like riding on the cloud, because this suspension is so soft and there's so much body roll and all that. But I mean, would expect this is a almost 4,000 pound luxury sedan. But I wonder what they mean by European tuned suspension when they say that, because it has really nothing, it doesn't really have a whole lot to do with the handling. Like, we're going over these bumps and I'm just barely like just floating over them like it's nothing. The GS300 is a good driving car. Like I said before, this is a good, it's a first car type of vehicle. I say that because this car is a very comfortable car to drive. It's not that fast. It's really comfortable. It's a really safe car. The fuel economy is okay. You know, it's pretty decent. But this is definitely a car that, say for instance, a high school student gets, one, they can definitely keep this car all the way through college if they want to do all that. Just because of how comfortable it is, the size of it, and the bulletproof reliability. I've had it over a year. I got it with 133,000 miles on it, and nothing has went wrong with this car the whole time I've owned it. Knock on wood. But nothing has went wrong with it the whole time I've owned it, and that's pretty great. My last car, I had an 02 Nissan Maxima, and I had that for about 3 years, and so many things went wrong with it. I just got tired of it, and that's when I ended up getting this car here. Actually, over the Nissan Maxima, the insurance went down on this car like I think $5 or $6 over the 6-month period, which is incredible. This car has definitely served me right, and I definitely will be keeping it kind of a long time. Well, maybe, you know, staying in the family quite a long time.